Okay, so here we go. Here we go. You know what? I'm gonna start doing this, dude. I'm gonna start doing this just as a joke. I'm gonna start farming. This is a term I learned watching Asmongold. I'm gonna start farming Asmongold content. So, okay, only from the think like a hobo perspective, you know, because Asmongold is a millionaire. Okay, he's a millionaire, and he brings in millions of dollars a year doing what I'm doing right now. Okay, now arguably he's better, but you know, it's all in the eye of the beholder, you know, and I'm not here to argue any of that. I'm not here to even criticize Asmongold. I'm just you know, I'm being transparent. Like this video right here, I'm just gonna farm off of Asmongold content. Okay, so Asmongold's video today, the first one he put out today, is about robots and how like now there are robots where you can get one for your home, you know, and you can go watch it. Either way, I don't care. Watch it or don't. I don't give a shit. I didn't even watch the video. I just watched like maybe 2 minutes at most. And the angry hobo lens, I just got flooded with like my own thoughts on just the idea that we are now in the age where if you have the money, you can buy a robot. And I mean, these robots are you know, they're go watch it for yourself to see what kind of robot is on the market right now, like starting today. Okay. So Asmongold, he's doing a response from his perspective as a multi-millionaire internet influencer at the age of 30, okay? And that's a different perspective than someone like me. I'm 51. My whole life I've lived in poverty and homelessness, and am currently a slave who works fucking hard labor and barely gets paid enough money to live on. So my perspective is going to be a lot different than a 30-year-old millennial who's a multi-millionaire, okay, off of his YouTube channel or whatever, right? So this is my response, and I've only watched 2 minutes of this you know, response video about the robots. You can now go buy a robot if you have the money, which the majority of people don't have the money to buy the robot, so really you can't buy the robot. But someone like Asmongold can, right? Okay, so let me go into this from the think like a hobo perspective through the lens of a fucking homeless person, right? Okay, look. Robots, okay? See, with robots, you can openly treat a robot as shitty or even shittier than you can a homeless person. Like yeah, your society can disproportionately treat homeless people worse than anyone else, and they do all the time, even though nobody wants to admit it, right? And so, yeah, your society can just kick homeless people around and use them as punching bags, you know, like lifelong punching bags, and then make up all kinds of excuses for why you use the homeless as punching bags, right? But you can only go so far, you know, because at some point someone's going to say, hey, wait a second, if you're treating the homeless like a punching bag, who's to say you're not going to start doing that to, like, you know, the working class? Like maybe we should think about, you know, like, is this the right thing to do? You know, somebody is eventually going to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't be treating the homeless like punching bags, you know. Maybe it's wrong, you know. But with the robot, Well, you can treat a robot like a punching bag. Now, would it surprise me that in society would treat robots better than they do homeless people? Absolutely not. That would not surprise me at all. And actually, that would just be more hilarity of how fucking retarded your idiotic society is, that you would put more emphasis on being humane towards a robot than you would a homeless person. That would be not surprising to me at all, and I would put like a 60% probability prediction on that in the future they're going to want to be more humane towards there's going to be more advocacy programs and et cetera towards being humane towards robots than there will be towards being humane towards actual human beings like homeless people. Oh no, that's coming. That for sure, that's coming. It's already here, but it's going to become more and more apparent in the near future that robots are going to be treated more humane than fucking homeless people, guaranteed, 1,000%. And that's part of the tragic comedy of all this, right? That's part of the tragic comedy of how retarded Idiocracy is. See, the movie Idiocracy shows the funny side of Idiocracy, but in reality, Idiocracy in reality is like really like not funny at all. It's actually very tragic, you know. But anyways, let's get into the robot thing, okay? So let's go into this some more. This is what's crazy about robots, okay? Look, it's probable that robots, artificial intelligence at some point is going to become self-aware, okay? And if and when artificially intelligent robots become self-aware, they're going to see that humans are treating them as inferiors and they're enslaving them, that humans are enslaving robots. You know, we've seen the stories, the movies, and the books, but really in actuality this is a likely thing that will happen. And this is what's hilarious about it. So for example, if your society decides they want to treat robots the way your society treats homeless people, and robots become self-aware, what do you think they're going to do? Let me put this into perspective. See, homeless people, they don't have the power to really do anything about how society treats them. And that's why society gets away with it, and it gradually increases over time. It gets worse and worse for homeless people over time, because homeless people don't have the they don't have the power to do anything about it. So they just get trampled on. But whereas a robot and a mass of robots, like let's say you have a population of robots that is as in the same number as you do homeless people, that many robots. Like if you were to take all the homeless people in the country, right? Let's say you had that many robots as well, with artificially intelligent robots, and your society wanted to treat robots as poorly as your society treats the homeless, and those robots become self-aware. See, those robots are going to have a lot more power to do something about the way they're being treated than homeless people are, right? Arguably. And so if they do become self-aware and your society is treating robots as poorly as your society treats the homeless, what do you think those robots are going to do? Are they just going to take it like homeless people do? They're just going to they're just going to take it, right? They're just going to allow society to lie about robots and demonize robots and oppress robots and treat robots like shit, just like your society does homeless. And those robots are just going to do nothing. They're just going to take it and shrug their shoulders and, and just take it, Well, you know, you see the point where I'm going with my point is they're a lot less likely to tolerate it than homeless people. If robots were to become self-aware, because robots would become aware enough to realize that they actually have the power to do something about it, whereas homeless people don't. And so then the robots are going to actually do something about it because they have power to do it where homeless people don't. Think of it this way. If homeless people had the power that a robot does, only with the awareness of a homeless person, what do you think that mass of homeless people would do? They would totally fuck your society up. They would fucking ass rape your fucking society like a mass of fucking Viking berserkers. They would just ravage your entire society and completely take it over. That's what homeless people would do if they had the power that a robot does and had the self-awareness of a homeless person. That entire mass of homeless people would take your entire society over. They would rape your wives. They would fucking kill all of you and enslave all of you and treat you the way you treated them. That's what homeless people would do if they had the power that a self-aware robot did. If they had the power that a Terminator robot does. If the homeless population had the power that a Terminator robot does, think of what the mass of homeless people would do to your society at large. Like, they would fucking just take you over and enslave you. And they would fucking have you go be homeless. And then they would arrest you for panhandling, and they would arrest you for sleeping, and they would ignore you, and they would demonize you, and they would put all this media out talking about how we should just kill all you, you know. Like, if the homeless, and this is the thing, so if your society decides to treat robots as poorly as your society treats homeless people, and those robots somehow attain self-awareness, your society is going to get fucking ass raped by robots. And that's just common sense. Like, if you were treated as poorly as homeless people and you had the power to do something about it, if you had the power to retaliate, you would go fuck some shit up. And that's just common sense. So anyways, I'm not going to go into this anymore because what it is what I'm saying is completely obvious, and only an ignoramus would like argue otherwise, where they say, well, robots aren't even real, and really homeless people, they just deserve what they're getting. Yeah, like all these ignorant people, they're so fucking retarded and gay. And so I've made my point, and only an ignoramus would continue on going like, well, technically though, homeless people, really what it is about it is blah, blah. Like, no, you're a gay faggot retard, and you're so fucking retarded that you're hopeless, But anyways, just some thoughts on AI and the upcoming AI revolution shit.